Okay, now this will be video number 2. This will be so you have decided to buy a Onewheel, or you may have a Onewheel and you want to know how to use it. So, first things first, what do you think is the number one most important thing you need to know before riding your Onewheel for the first time? I thought about this, and I'm going to say something different than I think anyone has ever said for the first thing you need to know, not mounting, not dismounting, is pushback. Seems like that is something that you'd want to learn a little bit later, but I think it is the most important thing because it is the most misunderstood concept and it causes the most injuries. What is pushback? If you've read your manual, and you may not have yours yet, maybe you're waiting 2 months to get your XR, you don't know what pushback is yet. So I'm going to give you a nice detailed left brain instruction, description that hopefully will serve you well and keep you from wrecking, putting your board for sale with 9 miles and 1 blood stain on it. Even though I like to buy boards like that, nice and cheap. So pushback is, well, you've already figured out, I'm sure by now, that a Onewheel is a self-balancing skateboard. So if I am on it, it will balance itself. Once it senses me on the sensor, it will balance itself. So it's balancing itself. I'm cruising along. Imagine I'm at high speed here. I'd rather not hold a shaky stick and try to explain this. So we're going to just imagine I'm cruising along here. I'm starting to accelerate. Now, what mode should you be in? Mission. No, do not start in cruise or Sequoia. No, you might as well delete those from your memory. They are absolutely useless. I don't care if you're beginning or whatever. Put your board in mission. You can do that through your Bluetooth, through your phone. And you're cruising along. I'm doing 5 miles an hour. I check my phone maybe, safely, carefully. I'm doing 8 miles an hour, cruising along. The board is flat. As I start to get to 15 miles an hour, the nose starts to lift up as I'm riding. Feels a little funny. Like, what's going on? Now, in NLP terms, your threshold of perception is not there yet. If this was not the reason that I consider this to be the number one most important concept you need to learn before you ride your Onewheel is because when you start riding your Onewheel and you're all excited and you're having fun and it's nice and smooth and quiet and you're moving along, your threshold of perception is too high. You don't recognize what that means when the board starts to kick up. You don't even sense it happening. Most people don't. I didn't when I first got my board, and I had been skateboarding for 30 years. It didn't feel that strange to me. So what do? You naturally push down harder on the nose. So your board is giving you a signal. Pushback is designed by the factory as a signal to let you know you're approaching the safe limits of what the board can handle. It can go faster than 15 miles an hour, but once you go past 15 miles an hour, there's less torque, less battery power, less motor power available for it to handle a bump in the road, an incline, you screwing up. It's not going to be able to average out your errors and balance you as well at 15 miles an hour, above 15 miles an hour, as it is when I'm standing here on the ground screwing off. It's it's got 100% of its power available right now. It's using a tiny bit to balance me, and if I mess up, it's got enough to correct for that. Once you get past 15 miles an hour, the nose will start tilting up. You need to develop a sensitivity for that. You need to notice when it's happening because you don't want to have to be looking at your phone and seeing how fast you're going. So as you start to ride, you'll notice that when you approach 15 miles an hour, the nose will start to lift up. As long as you notice that, and then you lean back just a little bit and slow down and stay around 15 miles an hour, you will almost never fall due to overexerting the motor, because that's what pushback is trying to tell you, that if you keep going faster, you'll overexert the motor. It'll run out of the ability to both balance you and accelerate. And the first thing that it has to turn off in order to try to save you is the balancing. Some people, if you're really, really good at it and you're ready for it and you're a pro and you've done this for a while, there's some people who can go that fast, they hit 20, 23 miles an hour, something like that, and they'll actually feel the board stop balancing them and they'll catch it and slow down a little bit. But that's beyond what anybody should be practicing with. At 20 some miles an hour, if you fall, you can die. It's a deadly speed. And there are a lot of stories of people on one wheels that have fallen and broken bones, severely have injured themselves for some for life. You don't want to be messing around with these things. One of the things that's so great about a one wheel is that it is so quiet and fast and smooth and comfortable right up until it isn't. I mean, it will take you right up there, and the only signal that it's really able to give you, I mean, it's just basic, it's physics. The only thing that they can really do for you is give you a pushback, a symbol. That's the signal to say slow down. So get ready for that. Have it in your brain, left brain, lock it in, because then your threshold of perception will be prepared. And when you hit pushback, you'll notice it. It'll reach your awareness. Then you slow down. That's the number one most important point. So lock that into your brain, get that done. Then worry about simple things. Next video, we're going to talk about how to mount, how to dismount, how to safely do it, how to teach others how to do it, how to get on your board and actually ride it properly. So I hope that this being the very first concept that we explain for a new beginner rider on a one wheel will underscore the importance enough that you won't make the mistake that I did. I had to fall at 23 miles an hour. When I first got the board, I fell hard. My toes swelled up and turned purple. Luckily, I didn't break any bones. I didn't kill myself, but it was painful. I couldn't ride for about a month. And that was because I just got the board. I didn't read up enough on it. I didn't know what pushback was. I pushed right through the pushback. I was trying to go for top speed, break my own record, and it's just ignorant. It's stupid. There's no point to it. And I'd much rather see people ride their boards, enjoy them, and not get hurt. So, number one, pushback. Then we'll get to what most people consider to be the basics: mounting, dismounting, balancing, whether it's better starting grass or pavement. So look forward to that in the next video.